do it again.
Okay, that's fine. If there's
But
anything you
what we're doing today does not require that data from the previous one, right?
the data analysis Excel, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, of course it's going to, but we're already rounding up. I just have one more
Okay,
thing to do,
okay,
or two more things to do. So, but today we are going fully into Power BI, so
okay,
you won't really miss much.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm.
All right, you're welcome. So before I go ahead with, I hope we've all downloaded the Power BI desktop. Everybody, hope nobody had any issue trying to download. And if you did have any issue, please let me know now.
I have the Power BI web. What does that work?
Web, it works, but uh, my experiences with the web so far, it's not always like the desktop.
How do I
There are
download
some.
it? Because I was not in
Okay,
class.
just go to your Google and type download Power BI desktop. It's quite straightforward.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
But
So you
you sent us an email. I mean,
then that was the file we're going to be using, not the Power BI itself.
oh, so what are we supposed to do?
Oh, Mary, I shared. Oh, did you leave early yesterday? I
Okay,
shared this in
I
a
had
class.
to leave. Sorry. I left very early. Down to
Okay.
desktop, you said?
I'm coming. Let me just show us again so everybody can also learn from that. Let me share the new screen. Where is it? Oh goodness. How do I All right, so can we all see this new screen? So just click on download Power BI desktop like this. Can we all see this, please?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a bring different links. Good. So click on the first one, this particular one. So it takes you to this part.
Mm-hmm.
Just click on download. So the download is going to bring two sessions for you. Just click on the one with X64. That's the second one. So and download, that's all. It doesn't require much whatsoever to install. So when you're done downloading, you just install immediately. Did everybody get that, please? So you won't have to waste time when we are done with that.
Sorry, the one I have is like a bar chart, three-step bar chart look. Is it the same?
Sorry, I don't
The
understand.
the Power BI, the one I downloaded, it has
Yes.
logo like a bar chart.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
an Instagram of a thing.
Yes. Is it the
Yeah, that's
same?
it. That's it. That's it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Um, it's crazy. Wow. Wow.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry, sir. Please, are we using the file you send on email, the Power BI
yes,
file, the zip file?
yes, we're definitely using it. So just try and unzip it. All right. So
Yeah.
why we are? Sorry, did you say something?
I said I've done that. I've unzipped it.
Oh, okay, okay. So why? Share message. All right. So why we are trying to download that, or why we are downloading it? Let's quickly open our Excel to this part. I'm about to show us the slicer. I hope, well, I believe everybody have done theirs to this point. I just believe so. Because without that, you won't be able to apply the slicer. So do you all have our Excel open like this?
Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you. Please let's mute our mics. You can unmute if I ask any question. All right, so now we have our dash. That's true. Please, when we are done with our dashboard, I would like to see. We can send it to the group chat. Let's see at least. Let's see what we've done. All right, so the slicer. Basically, what the slicer does is, let's say, all these informations there. Let's say I want to view just only things related to Australia, for instance. There's a way I'm going to do it that everything on this data set, everything on this dashboard rather, we only depict Australia. The countries, of course, is going to be one by this time. Revenue will only be about Australia. Each band will only be about Australia. That's what the slicer does. So how do you go about creating a slicer? Now, go to any of the pivot tables you have. Anyone at all. Any pivot table, just go to anyone. Any pivot table, anyone at all. Click on it like this. Just make sure your cursor is within the pivot table. So after that, you go to, hey, where's this guy? Yeah, after that, you go to insert. On your ribbon tab, you see insert. So under insert, you see slicer to your right. You see slicer. So click on slicer. I don't know if you can see my dialog box. Can you see this box? I don't know. I don't know if Excel will allow you to, or sorry, the Google Meet will allow you to see it. So when you click on slicer, it will bring out the list of all the columns you have. It will bring out the list of all the columns you have. So select don't select everything. So now we're going to select anything we want our slicer to be about. Earlier I said if I want everything to be about Australia. So if I want to select to do something like that, I'm going to select country, in which my slicer will contain all the countries I have. We have 10 countries. So we have Australia. If I want it to be only on Australia, Germany, like that. So which one should we select? But I don't want to select country because it's quite much for the space I have over there. So let's select what do you think we should use? Let's see if anybody have a good idea. Okay, for the sake of this, let's just use oh goodness, how am I further into we go to pick on? Okay, let's use customer value. So select customer value. So our slicer is going to be based on customer value. Yeah, so let's select customer value and press OK. So when you press OK, it will bring it out like this. So you have brand seeker, casual buyer, and convenience seeker. So now to edit this, I want to, it's arranged vertically now. I would like it to be arranged horizontally. So I will go to my slicer over here. I don't know, yours might be slicer options or something, depending on the version of Excel you're using. So you go on that slicer or slicer settings, anyone. So you go on that slicer, you will see, to your right-hand side, you will see columns. So just increase it to 3. As you're increasing it, you will see it's changing to horizontal already. Horizontally arranged already. You can expand it like this. So after that, now this slicer is not yet connected to the pivot tables. So you go to report connection, still under the slicer. You will see report connection, your left-hand side, far left. You see report connection, click on report connection. Now the report connection will show all the pivot tables you created in this file. So select everything. select all the pivot tables. This is where you will see the pivot tables you did not name. So select everything. Ideally, it would make sense if we only select those that they are on our dashboard, but we don't have time to start checking. So you can just select everything and press OK. So now you've connected all the pivot tables to this particular slicer. Also, I don't need this header, this customer value here. So how can I remove it? Still go back to the slicer. Now you see slicer settings. Beside your report connection, you see slicer settings. Beside it, click on slicer settings. So you see display header. Untoggle it. Just click on it. It will untoggle it by itself and press OK. So now we have just the parameters there. So you can now copy this, Control C to copy. And then you can come and paste it here. Just drag it to this place. Like this. All right. So now let me show you how it works now. Now, if I want you to notice this. If I click on brand seeker, can you see everything on this data set changed to brand seeker? Everything. So everything you have here is based on the brand seekers only. You see that the customers has reduced, even the countries is having 0.8. I'm sure we know why this is having 0.8 because of the formula we used. The maximum revenue, everything changed. If I click on casual buyers, everything will be based on casual buyers. Convince seeker, everything will be based on convince seekers. So how do I go back to the normal one? Just right click on this. Let's say you want to go back to the default. Right click on the last parameter you clicked on. You will see clear filter from customer value. You will see clear filter from customer value. So to take you back to normal one. Now, another thing is, let's say for instance, you want to apply this. You want to visualize only casual buyers, and you're discovering that your country is having 6.8, which doesn't make any sense. So you can just decide to remove your countries from the report connection. How do you do that? Just right click on it. Right click on the casual buyer, the last one you selected. You will see report connection under it. So instead of going back to your slider, you see report connection. You can just click on it, and then you can remove. Okay, that's another problem. As I said, we should name our pivot tables. Even myself, I did not name this. But the way, okay, I named it. Number of countries, yes, I named it. So you can just untoggle the number of countries. You can see it's back to 10 now. So, but then it will entirely make sense because to be sure as though all the countries are within the casual buyers. So I can just remove the clear filter. So to take you back to the default one. So that's why that's concerning the slicers. Another thing I want to do is how to import images. Even all these backgrounds, you can decide to bring in an image. Yes, for this background, just right click on it. Under view, you will see picture. So if you click on picture, it will take you to your yeah. I could remember this guy. There's no unique. You need an internet connection to insert online pictures. Okay, walk offline. Yeah, so you can select any picture of your choice. Okay. Let me just use one as an example. So you see, I just selected any picture randomly. So you can also Control Z. So you can also bring in any picture of your choice. Or let's say you can also bring in GIT Solutions logo. You can just go to Google and type GIT Solutions. You see different images there that you can download. I think I have downloaded some before. Let me just bring them in. Let me bring one in. Under downloads. Don't worry, when you get to Power BI, you're going to make good use of all these images I'm talking about. Okay, so you can just bring these in and no, I was not saying you should put it under this guy. Meanwhile, I hope you are done downloading the Power BI. So I'll just reduce it. I'll put it somewhere like this. Yep. Okay. So that's by that. All right. So that's it. We're done with Excel now. Do you have any question? Does anybody have any question before we move into Power BI? Do well to save your work. Does anybody have any question before we move into Power BI?
Well, I have questions, but for next week because I haven't really finished mine like this.
Oh, okay. Any other person?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, please, I have a question.
All right.
In the chart for revenue by country and gender,
Okay.
so I can see the values is on the male only. Maybe it's for both of them. Is it possible for the Excel to split? Because on my own now, the values have been splitted on the male and the female, but yours is just a value. I don't know, maybe you
Okay.
understand.
I understand what you're saying. What value do you have for your meal for Australia?
I don't have it here. I don't have it here now.
Because if you look at this closely, okay, let me confirm something for Australia bar and for male. Let me confirm something 3.59. I think I already spoke on this yesterday though, but let me check this. You know, you discover that what happened to this, mine is a little bit being shredded. Now, if you look at the value we have for the male, there is 3.5, right? If you look at the same value here, it's still 3.5. So it's not being matched together. The value you are seeing here is just for male. So the female is not showing because I will have to really elongate this guy. Let me show you what I'm saying. Okay. All right. Can you see now?
Yes.
So you can just add the data labels too. I guess what What I did for this guy was I just added the data labels for the males only. So you can also add for the females.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Any other question? Have we all downloaded the Power BI so we can proceed? Is there anybody still downloading? All right, I think that as we all done downloading it, so that's nice. So let's open for about Power BI. Okay, I'm trying to search for this guy. Oh goodness, where do I have it? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, Power BI, Power BI, Power BI. Does anybody have any prior knowledge to what Power BI is? I want to share with us? Anybody? I think this is the part where we try to hack the Umbu. Okay, so let's go straight to the point then. So Power BI is a visualization tool. It's been designed and developed by Microsoft. So it has so many similar characteristics with Excel. But then they still have some distinct stuff there which we are going to be discussing. So these are the outlines. We're going to start with the introduction to Power BI, connecting to data sources. Power BI has the ability to connect to different data sources, unlike Excel. Excel can connect to CSV file and Excel file. While Power BI can connect to as much as possible PDF, Excel, CSV, and the likes like that. Also, Power BI has a different platform whereby you transform your data. That's where you do your data cleaning. And another phase where you carry out your visualization. So you're going to be working with two phases where you transform your data, and that is to perform all the data cleaning and the addition of other columns or whatever they might be. And we have another platform whereby you visualize your data set. So we also have introduction to DAX. DAX simply means data analysis expressions. Your data analysis expression includes your average, sum, minimum, maximum, and the likes of that. And we have the advanced DAX and calculation. The advanced, we have the TED Heave. You have a lot of them. We're going to be looking at them. Yeah. After that, we have building of visualizations, working with advanced visualizations, and we have at the end of everything, dashboard design and publishing. All right, so Power BI is a powerful business intelligence tool developed by Microsoft that like I said earlier. It enables users to visualize and analyze data from various sources. I think I already mentioned that too. It offers a comprehensive suite of features for data preparation, modeling, and visualization. All right, so now, I said earlier you have two interfaces where you do your data transformation, that's where you do your data cleaning, and where you do your visualization. So we have a place for the data preparation. That's we call it Power Query Editor, by the way, where you transfer your data, where you do your data cleaning and the likes. We call it Power Query Editor. So why the other interface? That's where you do your data modeling and visualization. I believe we all know data modeling. I already explained. Creating relationships between your data set using your primary keys and your foreign keys. So asset and collaboration, making it a popular choice for professionals across the industry. Like I said, most persons actually prefer Power BI due to its characteristics and advantages of other softwares, which we're going to be looking into. So we have different kind of package. You have the Power BI desktop. We have the Power BI service. All right, the service like the one I think that's the one Dr. Samuel mentioned earlier, the online whatever, the online partner type of it. And we have the mobile, that's the one you can operate on your phone. But the best of is the Power BI desktop. So the Power BI desktop is an application that allows users to connect to data sources, the likes like that. It's a cloud-based platform for publishing, sharing, collaborating, like that. The mobile is a mobile app that enables, okay. So now the next thing is connecting to data sources. Like I said earlier, Power BI can connect to different sources, unlike Excel. Meanwhile, it can also connect to Excel, CSV files, databases, web, etc. You can even download data sets through Power BI, connecting via web. Yeah, so we have the direct query, live connection options for real-time data analysis. These live connection options might not be available in yours. So you have there's a paid version of Power BI. The paid version, that's when you can carry out all this more of this live connection. I don't know if you've heard about Automate. Is the moment you are updating the data set, your charts will be changing. So all this one, you might not be able to use that on yours. It involves the payment part of the Power BI. So you have data preparation and transformation. I already explained. That's your Power Query Editor. That's where you shape your data, do your data cleaning and the likes, clean and formatting data sets. That's when you change your data type. combine data from multiple sources. You can also combine data from multiple sources in Power BI. Okay, let me quickly explain that. Now, your Power BI file is not like your Excel file. You know, your Excel file, you can, let's say, data analysis Excel, or let me say, index match. Whatever is inside is, how should I put it? It's going to be about just index match. But for your Power BI, for a Power BI file, you can have different data sets inside it. It's like a folder. Your Power BI file is like a folder. I'm sure we all have movies that we create folder for, or let me say pictures. Under the pictures, you might create more folders, right? You might have 2016 pictures, 2015, or matric. We know the way we separate or sort our folders. So like a folder with so many movies. It's the same thing with Power BI file. I can decide to be working on 5 projects on the same Power BI file. You know, that's different from Excel. Once you open one Excel file, you can just go straight to the data set itself. That maybe the data set, yes, exactly. The data set is, let's say it's named store. You click on store, everything on it is going to be on store. If you want to work on another project, maybe it's named customer, you have to create another sheet, right? That's customer. But Power BI, you can import so many different. Okay, with the example I just gave now, I said customer and the store, right? I can import both customer and store inside the same Power BI file and work on them separately. So you get to understand that more when you practicalize it. So the basic DAX formulas, like I said earlier, that's your basic arithmetic functions, your sum, average, minimum, maximum count, distinct count. Yes, I told you there's a distinct count in Power BI. The one we were using sum if, 1 over sum if to calculate. Sorry, 1 over count if to calculate in Excel. We don't have to do that here. There's count distinct over here. And we have if functions too. We have and or not, combining multiple conditions. So we have an advanced DAX function that says we have calculate. When we get there, we're going to know what this guy does. We have calculate, we have filter, we have all except, all selected. We have row, just like we have rows in Excel, sum x, average x. We also have if error here. We have divide. Your divide is just like your normal division. We're still going to practicalize everything, so let's waste too much time. So after the whole data cleaning and manipulation, that's when you visualize. Now, the way you visualize in Power BI, I can say it's still, no, it's different from the way you visualize in Power BI. The way you visualize in Excel is different from the way you visualize in Power BI. For Power BI, you click, for Excel, you select the field first, then you select the chart. But for Power BI, you select the chart first, the chart you want to use, then you select the data that are meant to be filled on the file, or the charts rather. So enhancing visualization, adding titles, labels, these are everything we did yesterday on Excel. Formatting options, colors, that's enhancing visualization. Interactive features, slicers like the one I just did now. We have drill down, drill through. We're going to be going through all these things. So this, well, we already know what the dashboard looks like now. So this is a typical example of dashboard. Another design. I think this was the one I showed us yesterday. So let me see, what else have I not mentioned? All right, so let me see. I've explained all this. Okay, now if you've opened your Power BI, you will see this part home. It's quite similar to Excel. We have favorites. You might decide to favorite some of the files you've worked on. Recent, it contains the list of recently interacted with. We have hubs that can be shared with you. We have workspaces. Um, okay, you're just talking about the contents categorized by dashboard reports. Yes, you can also have you can. I told us about storytelling yesterday. So your report can contain your storytelling about the data set, about your visualization and everything. Yes, I explained something to us that we have paid Power BI. That's the one with license. That's the one that open more features for you. So this part of it. I don't know. This is not an updated price anyways. Okay, we've gone through this. All right, so importing your data. I think we should just personalize that. There's no need to waste too much time. Let me just go through it very quickly, but we are still going to personalize everything. So the first thing is you import your data. But unlike Excel, you have to choose. Let's say you want to import Excel file. You have to check the file you want to import first. If it's Excel file, there's a place here that you're going to choose, okay, I'm bringing in Excel file. If it's PDF, you choose that, okay, I'm bringing in PDF. So this file has been connected already. So you can get to, let's say for instance now, you are bringing in index match projects. You know, index match projects has 4 different tables, if you remember. It has location, it has manufacturer, product, and sales. Now, everything is going to be showing here like this. So you get to select which sheets exactly you are bringing in. So after that, now, when you get to this phase, don't click on load. Load will take you to your visualization phase. So you click on transform data so it can take you to your Power Query editor. Don't forget, you don't click on load here, you click on transform data. Although if you mistakenly click on load, there's a way to go about it. But to avoid that, just click on transform data. Immediately you connect to your data. So that's what it's saying here. Select all the formatted tables. The one you want to work with, that's what you select. So Power BI gives you the avenue to select exactly what sheet you want to work with in your data set. It's not like Excel that it's just bringing everything. This one you can just select exactly what you want to work with. Also, another fantastic thing about Power BI is that any step you apply in your Power BI is going to be recorded. Over here, you can see applied steps. It's going to be recorded. Everything is going to be recorded. And you get to delete any step. You see this cross sign here, or this looking like a multiplication sign or something. You can delete any step. The issue with deleting step is if you apply, let's say, like for instance, now I have 4 steps here. If I apply so many steps, now I want to go back to navigation to delete. It will only be possible. Of course, it's going to be possible anyways. If whatsoever you did after it is not from this navigation. So anytime you want to delete any step, make sure you've not gone too far. You can still delete navigation if deleting it will not affect promoted headers and change type. That's just the issue with deleting steps. So before you go too far, make sure, okay, you don't need it, so you can delete it before you move, before you add additional steps after it. All right, transformation of data. You can remove rows, you can remove columns, you can add, you can do whatever you want to do. These are cases, there are cases where rows need. Okay, yeah, there's something called unpivoting in Power BI. That's when you convert your rows to columns. Conversion of rows to columns is called unpivoting. I'm going to practicalize that too. You can also change and format data types. You already know data types by now. Let's say numbers now, they're giving you the type is numbers. Like January, the lights, those are texts. That's your ABC. Calendar, time, those are your data types. So it gets to change data types too. Okay, I already explained. Okay, yeah. Creating measures. So measures are used in aggregation calculations. So for instance, now your DAX formula, your DAX functions that I mentioned the other time, your sum, average, you don't just apply them anyhow. You have to create a measure first. A measure is like an interface where you type your formula. It's like Do you remember the formula bar in Excel? Yes. I think that's a perfect example. It's like your formula bar where you can type in different functions you want. We call it measures here. It says measures are usually stored in memory, so they are generally fast during calculations. Yes, they are already pre-stored. Then start coding it. They're already stored. So measures are created by going to modeling tab and selecting new measures. Okay, we're going to go through that. Modeling. I already explained modeling. Creating a good model is essential for excellent visualization. I told us we use primary keys and foreign keys. We're going to be practicalizing that. So, okay, this is what data modeling looks like. This is what data modeling looks like. Don't worry, we're going to personalize everything. Filters. I'm very sure we're familiar with filters in Excel. I call it filter button, so that maybe you're going to remember with that. So we also sort data here. We use our filters to select some specific data you want to work with. Like I said, it's similar to Excel, just that it has more advantages or more benefits over Excel. I can say advantages to over Excel. So the creation of visual is usually dependent on how well the data was cleaned. Yes, I think I mentioned that the very first class, second class we had on data analytics. Your data cleaning is very important. So your visuals depends on how well your data is being cleaned and how good it was modeled. Visualization is both science and art. I think we experienced that yesterday. Some of us must have displayed our artistic side of the skills using different colors, blending, and the whole thing. The science part of it, of course, is the formulas you input and the whole likes of the thing. The science, okay, yes, is even written here, is in the data cleaning and model building, while the art is in the aesthetics of the visuals. So this is what we have. All right, so everybody, let's open our Power BI desktop. Have you all downloaded it? Yes. Let's open everything. Or before, yes, while we are opening it, do we have any question based on what I just explained? Okay, I guess we are getting it, and that's nice. Okay, so this is what Power BI looks like. You can just close this. This is not important. Updates available. Okay, I've read you. I don't want the updates here. So now this is what this looks like. This is your Power BI. You can also create an account within and sign in. There's no issue with that. It will help you to publish your work online. So now we have, the first thing I said is, the first thing you do before you even make use of everything is you import your data, right? But let me quickly go through some of these parameters. Okay, I have an address. All right, you can speak up.
Yeah, my own doesn't, the way yours open, mine doesn't open like that. I don't know, maybe I need to do
Have
something.
you downloaded the desktop now?
Yes, I have. And what I see is new, recommended, home on the left, open on the right, on the left there. I see sign in, options, about on the left.
Can you share your screen?
Sir, sorry, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Mine too showed that.
Wait,
Or
is
I
it showing
clicked on
something like all this
new.
green, whatever, right?
I clicked on new, so I can see this on my screen.
Yes, I can
I
only
get what it's
visualize.
saying. So I think you should click on new and you will see this interface. That's what I'm saying.
Click on new.
Dr. Samuel, did you get that?
Okay.
So do you have this now?
Okay, yes, I see it now. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So now that all right, you're welcome. Now that we have this, now if you go to file, you have, well, mine have worked on some kind of project, so we have them here. We have open report, save as, get data, import, export, can export your data to. That's everything we have here. So let's say you've worked on any reports before. Everything will be on your recent report. I can browse reports to import any whatsoever. So after that, we have your own. Okay, I think the last time I worked on this, I closed this. Okay, so you have your home tab. So you have get data. Get data is where you can connect to different data sources. You have Excel workbook, you have SQL Server, we have enter data, you have transform data. Now, I mentioned something earlier that when you import your data, you will see load, transform, and cancel. So when you click on, I said the first thing you click on is transform data. But let's say you mistakenly click on load. It will load your data set as though you are ready to visualize it, to bring it here. But you can click on this transform data to take you back. So I'm just saying I should chip that in, so because I know anybody can make any mistake. So we have insert. You see, the interface is quite different from Excel, but by the time we start visualization, we understand how this guys works. But for now, our business is just with importing data set and Power Query Editor. How to clean our data set, that's the first thing we go to. So now, everybody check the file I sent to us. I believe everybody have unzipped. Check the file. You should see unclean data there. Now, I want you to do something for me. Someone should check the type of file it is. When I mean type of file, is it CSV? Is it PDF? Is it Excel file? So can someone quickly do that? Check the file, you see unclean data. So you tell me the type of data it is. Because if you could remember, I said you need to know the type of data set you're bringing in. Because now you see something like imports from Excel, imports from SQL Server. If you click on this get data here, you will see different. If you click on this get data,
It's an Excel worksheet. It's in XLXS. It's not in
okay,
CSV.
okay, thank you. Is Excel. So now that we know that is Excel, you can click on this.
There is CSV there too.
I
Like,
said unclean data. Do you have two unclean datas there?
let me check this.
No. You said there is CSV. Which one is CSV?
Yeah, there's just the one.
The HR
I said
file
unclean
is
data. I didn't mention
okay.
HR data. So, all right, thank you for saying this Excel worksheet. So, which means you are going to bring in true Excel channel. So, the first thing you want to do is you can click on this import data from Excel here, but let me just show you different sources we have. So, click on get data. So, click on get data. So, get data will show you everything we have. We have text, structures, we have XML, JSON, PDF. You have a lot of sources you can connect to. You can see online services. So you can even bring in data from Google or whatsoever it is going to connect the online services to. So there's so many sources you can connect to. We have Azure, we have a lot of it. So let's click on Excel workbook. So click on Excel workbook and click connect. So when you click on connect, it will take you to your desktop. Now, I don't know where you saved your Power BI files to, but anywhere you saved it to, try and navigate it. Look for it. Wherever you saved your Power BI files to, go and look for it there. The same place you went to look for the unclean data, search for it there. And bring in and click on your clean data. Where is this? Okay. Now you discover something. Even though you have a lot under the Power BI file, you see it's only those that are Excel that will show. It's probably showing just AdventureWorks database and unclean data.
Yes.
Exactly, because you entered through Excel file, but there are ways around it. Now, beside your file name, you will see Excel files. Rightly above, open and cancel. If you click on it, you will see all files. So if you click on all files, it will bring out everything for you. So even if you want to bring in another thing that is not Excel worksheet, you can also do that as well. So just now, I should give us that cheat code. So click on unclean data, then click on open.
Sorry, did you say insert data from Excel?
Yes. Well, which part are you exactly?
No, okay. Thanks.
So do you have a navigator interface? Do you all have that?
Yes, I have it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now you will see sales. I don't know why this guy is showing me sales tab. Our under unclean data, how many stocks do you have there? Do you have sales tab, sales, and sales too?
I see sales. That's only the only thing I see. And then I
Okay.
see suggested table 7, table 1, table 2, table 2 below.
All right. I think I've manipulated mine. That's why I have sales tab, sales, and sales.
Oh,
Yes. So just click on sales. Now it's like this. If you open this through Excel, it will give you different tables. Like you said, so we have suggested tables. So it's just telling you have wow. I think I should import another data set. I've worked on this guy and I've done a lot of changes to it. I don't want it to influence our let me bring in another one. Oh goodness. Where else do I have this guy on? Okay, let me quickly unzip another one. Okay. Power BI new folder. All right. Power BI new folder. Power BI. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. This is what it should look like. So you have sales. The sales is your sheets. It's like that's the sheet itself. Why these tables are like different sheets you have under sales? But let me say this is like your Excel file. These tables are different sheets you have inside it. So I can select, let's say I want to work with just table 1 and 2. I will select table 1 and 2. But this time around, I want to work with everything. So I will just select the sheet, the sales sheet itself. So that's automatically will bring in all the tables. So you don't have to, you don't need to start selecting the tables one after the other. Just select the sales sheet. Everything will be selected. Wait, can you see my navigator? Can you see this navigator on my own? And can you see it on the screen?
No.
no.
Oh, okay. So we're going to be experiencing a lot of this. So oftentimes you have to follow my voice, and you have to follow yours too. So which is why, please, at any point in time, you don't want to be left behind, because there might be a lot I'll be explaining, and you might not be able to view it on my own screen, but you can view it on yours. So after that, what's the next thing I say you should click on? Now, this is just showing you a preview of your data set. You see, we have we have 5 columns, right? Now let me quickly just chip this in, or I would like to ask us, what do you think? Or let's transform this first. Or before we transform, it should be able to help us. You know, we have table 1 to 7. What do you think differentiates table 1 to 7? What do you think is different about them? Or what can you just let me just see what can you say about it? Anybody? You see that they are similar, right? It's not even kind of. You see that they are similar. Is there something you notice that is quite different for each table? Anybody? All right. If you look at it very closely, the tables were acquired at different dates, or let me say different days. So it's the same thing. It's about the same thing. You see, you have salesperson, northeast, blah blah blah. It's just that they were acquired at different days. That's the only thing about them. It's just like saying sales data from Monday is from Tuesday, but it has the same column and everything. Just that the days at which they were acquired are different. So now I can click on transform data. So when you click on transform data, it will take you to your Power Query editor. It will take you to your Power Query editor, and that's a separate interface. It will almost look like a different software entirely, which is why I even need to share this particular screen. It's like another screen on its own. Now, this is what your Power Query editor looks like. Now, the very first thing Power BI does is, if you look at these apply steps, sorry. If you look at the apply steps, you discover that Power BI already had some steps. This source is where you, like the Excel source, where you imported it.
Like football drills, and instead of tackling it, she picked up the entire thing.
Please let's mute our mics.
She made the wrong sport. Even these 2 football players couldn't believe it.
Football players, let's mute our mics, please. This is when you are watching football. Don't be distracted. Anyways, all right. So this source is where you imported your Excel from. The navigation is the navigator. That's why you selected exactly what you want to work with. Now, immediately, you know, after the navigator, you click on transform data, right? So immediately, the file enters Power BI Query Editor phase. The first thing Power BI does is it's going to make the first row as headers. Now, if you remember Excel, before Excel can recognize a particular row as header, we have to structure the data set, right? So the same thing happens here, just that its own structuring is automatic, and it automatically makes the first row as headers. That's why if you see the headers, that's why we have sales for column 2, column 3, column 4. So Power BI always assume the very first row in your data set, they are headers, so you just make them headers like that. Now, immediately they are being made headers, Excel will give them, Power BI will give them their respective data types. Sales for, it will just look at the content. Oh, we have salesperson. Oh, this is text. So it's give you ABC. This is like combination of text and numbers. Oh, that's general, ABC and 1, 2, 3. So now if you feel, oh, you don't know the column 2 should not be ABC 1, 2, 3, you can click on this ABC 1, 2, 3 and change the data type to whatever you want. So that's by that. Now, another fantastic thing about Power BI is You know, if I give a data set in Excel, mere looking at it, you might not be able to entirely decipher if the data set is clean or not. You might not be able to. I'm not saying you might. You might not be. You can, but might not be able to. Now, Excel, oh goodness. Now, Power BI has a particular feature. It's to analyze the, oh, you must have been seeing it on mine. I'm sure you are seeing this valid error empty. You don't have it in yours. Yes, I know. I'm going to show you how to toggle yours on. So Excel will look at, oh goodness. I don't know why this always happens. Now, Power BI will look at the content for each column and analyze them. Oh, we have 91% valid. Oh, we have cells that are empty. We have 9% empty. You see these cells having no, they are empty. They're empty cells. So even if you have any error, Power BI will let you know that, oh, you have error in this particular column. So also percentage error. So you know that, okay, I need to clean my data set. It's not clean. Unlike Excel, you have to be the one to look at it manually. Power BI will do that for you. Now, how do you toggle yours on? Everybody go to View. Under your ribbon tab, is after Add Column. You will see View. Click on View. Now you see column quality. Toggle on your column quality. Yours should display by now. Just toggle on your column quality. So yours should display by now. So you see we have different things to work with. As time goes by, I'm going to be explaining everything. Choose column, split column, match queries, everything we're going to be working on them. Transform data, add column, we're going to be working on everything. But now, we've imported our data. We already know that, okay, our data set is not clean. And I already gave us int, right? Now, all those tables we were seeing the other time, table 1 to 7, they have been matched together like this. Although let me use the word match, they have been appended. I've not explained appending to you, but I'm going to explain later. But let me just use match for now. They have been matched together like this. Everything has been combined together. It's just like at the end of every year, when you want to do your analysis, the data acquired for January, you had everything together to December. Then you analyze it. That's the same thing we want to do. Just as this time is not from January to, it's just January data. I think the first 7 days or so. Yeah, the first 7 days of January. Now, with your Excel sense, or let me say Excel knowledge, can we look at this data set and tell me what is off? What do you think are the things we need to clean in this data set? Or can I work on this data set like this? No. Even my column quality is telling me, hey bro, you can't work on this like this. You have to clean it up. So now what are the things? So now what are the things that are off in this data set that you feel we should clean? Balumi.
Number one thing to work on the null value.
Thank you. We need to work on the null value. Let me put that on the chat box. The null value. What else? The null values. Yes. Any other thing? All right. LBC, you can speak up.
Yeah, we need to rearrange the data in the order of dates that the data was inputted, not
Good.
this, and also to separate if we look at the data from the data, the names, we could see that some numbers are with the name, so we could actually separate that.
So yeah, you said there's some numbers. What are those numbers? What do you think those numbers are?
Yeah, the number could be like a transaction ID or something, or maybe
I like the fact that you said it could be. So in analyzing data, if you are not sure, don't just jump into conclusion. Although when you're working with project or working on any project, they always give you additional files which will give you explicit explanation on the file you're working on. And if you don't understand, you can always ask whoever gave you the project, oh, what is this? So she said it could be sales Sales what again? Sales number. What did you say?
Yeah, like a sales ID or transaction ID.
Good. Sales ID or transaction detail. All right, let's take a look at it. Now, if you look at it, she's right. Just that it's not sales ID, it's salesperson ID. You look at the number is in bracket beside the salesperson names. So it's actually a salesperson ID. You know, sales ID is different from salesperson ID. Sales ID is like for that particular sale, this is a ID, just like order ID. So also we need to create a column for our sales ID. What other thing? All right, well, let's have you.
Sir, is it advisable to give it a, let me say, natural ID? Maybe just like giving the random IDs, maybe from the beginning to the end, starting from 1 to 0. Maybe when the data in proper order, maybe ascending or descending, and we decide to give it ID on its own, just like giving it a specific name, maybe like the sales ID. Like on another data I'm talking about, is it advisable to just give it like that, just to make our data easy to analyze?
Okay, if I understand what you're saying, it's just like it's not really an ID per se, like an index number. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
There's no need because you already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. It's not actually necessary. That's not important. And if you want to do like that, you can't call it ID. ID is a means of identification, and it has to be. You can't just call it ID. But there's no need for that because if you look at your left-hand side here, you already have index number there. So it's not entirely necessary. It's not entirely necessary. It's not entirely necessary. All right. What other thing? Does anybody have any other thing to say? All right. You can speak up.
Yeah, I also think the data are in the 4 cardinal region. If the data can also be splitted into each region, because it's just inputted on for each date. So if you can just have like a note column where the date is also on a column header, so we can have like a north, east, west like that to read the data to probably make it much easier to read.
Okay, so you're saying, yeah. So now what you just said now is we should have, or in other words, what you're saying is our current header should not be our header. In other words, that's what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's correct. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to do. You know, I told you the first thing your Power BI does is going to make the first row as headers. That does not mean they are correct. It's just a robot whatever. Don't let me say robot. Don't let me use the word robot. Let me say hey hi. Yeah. Just doing what it feels, what it's been programmed to. That does not make them right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the first row. Now, if you look at the first row, we have salesperson, north, east, south, and west. You will agree with me that should be our headers. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Now, under your home tab, navigate to your right hand side, you will see use first row as headers. You will see use first row as headers. Click on it. Now, there's something with data cleaning. How you clean your data sets or the step in which you apply your cleaning is very important. For instance, now, Kolumi said we should remove null values. If I decide to remove the null values now, this is how removing null value works. Let's say this null value, for instance. If I want to remove this one, not just this one will be removed. Everything on that row is going to be removed. Now imagine I remove this. I'm going to be removing this.
I said replacer.
Replace. Okay. It's still dealing with getting making how should I put it now? Whatever we are doing, either we are replacing or removing, we are making a which English word will I use now? Yes, we are trying to get rid of the null values. Either we remove or replace. But the step, if you are saying, okay, let me ask you this question. If you are saying we should replace this, what are you going to replace this with? I can't just use a random number to replace it with. I can't just use 0.
We can use the average. We can do average imputation.
Do we apply average within our data set? No. Now, don't forget the fact that this interface this is Power BI. It does not make, it's still like Excel. You can't just impute your, now, you know those are DAX formulas. The average just said as a DAX formula. You can't just include the DAX formula here. You can't even apply average here in the first place. You have to go to your other phase. That's where you apply your measures. This is a data set. Anything here, what we are just doing, we are just trying to clean it up. So you can't even apply average here. Everything here should be about the data set. We're not even going to data manipulation yet. So if I decide to remove these null values, it's going to affect everything here. I'm just trying to chip this in because at some point you have to be removing your null values. The step at which you carry out your data cleaning is very important. So now after making our first row as headers, okay, yeah. Another thing is when you import your data set, look at your down left corner. Over here, you will see 5 columns. That talks about the number of columns you have, the number of rows you have. Rightly beside it, you will see column profiling based on top 1000. Now, when you are working with data sets that are above 1000 rows, click on this column profiling based on 1000. You will see another thing there, which is column profiling based on the entire data set. So when you are working with data sets that are more than 1000 rows, make sure you click on column profiling based on entire data set. Even when you are working with rows that are less than 1000, you can always click on column profiling based on entire set. So you can just get used to it. Anytime you import your data set, just go to column profiling based on entire data set. All right, that's been said. So the next step you are going to do is, someone has mentioned dates. Now, if you look at salesperson column, you will see beside your sales form, we have dates there. Dates at which this was acquired. Date at which this was acquired. Now, this first guy too had dates. It's just that it was here. The date was made, it was part of what was made as the header that we later changed. So just note it 2018-0101 because we're going to need it later. All right. So now, how can I separate this date from this sales form? I've explained delimiters to us, right? Yes, I did in Excel. Let me see if you still remember. What are delimiters? Can anybody help us with delimiters? What are delimiters? What do you understand by delimiters?
Comma, semicolon.
Okay, good. Yes, semicolons. Can you help us shed more light? Because anybody that does not understand before, like, okay, semicolon, what happened to semicolon? Semicolon is like symbols, or don't let me say symbols now, like characters or something. So can you shed more light to?
Yeah, a character that is separating maybe two values.
Okay, thank you so much. So delimiters are simply characters that you don't want them where they are being found at that particular moment. So they might be acting as separator, like you said, separating two values, or they might just be there for doing sake, being there sake. They just want to be plain. So those are delimiters. Now I want us to look at this sales for and the date. What's the delimiter here?
Colon.
Column, thank you.
Hyphen.
Someone said hyphen. No, I said something. I said delimiters are characters, they are found where they are not meant to be found, or they can be acting as separators. Now, this hyphen here is with the dates. So I won't say hyphen. Hyphen is a character, yes, but I won't say hyphen. What is separating sales for from the date, or what's separating the date from all other values is you have space too, but I won't use space. You have column. Don't forget, what we want to separate is the date. So I can't say hyphen because hyphen is part of the date. So what's separating my date from whatsoever it is that is there is the column. So my delimiter here is the column. So now, if you remember, what we use in Excel is text to columns, right? Over here, we use split column. This is split column. So in Power BI, any column you want to work with, you select it first. Make sure you select your 6-person column like this. Then under your home tab, you will see split column. Click on it, you will see by delimiter, by number of characters, by positions, by lowercase to uppercase. You have different whatever you can split by, but we are using delimiter, so you click on by delimiter. Now, for this step, you have to follow me because I know you can't see my dialog box.
You said
So
by the what? I lost you there. By the what?
By delimiter.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So when you click on by delimiter, discover that we have now Power BI based on its own AI, artificial intelligence, will recognize a particular delimiter by itself. I told you there's space there too, but we are going to be using the column. So break it down, click on the space, it will bring out other delimiters. So you will see, good. Is there a column here? Yes, there's column. Assuming we are working with a delimiter that is not here, you click on custom and you impute the kind of delimiter you want. But you can see column, so you click on column. Now, after selecting the type of delimiter, the next thing is, it's going to ask you, okay, how do you want to split it? Now we have leftmost, rightmost, and each occurrence. What that means is, in cases where you have more than one column, which one should I split by? Let's say, for instance, the hyphen. We have 2 hyphens. Let's say I want to split the year from the days and for the month. In this case now, let's say 02 is not even 02 is the day now, 01 is the month, Y2018 is the year. Let's say I want to split the day first. Please, let's miss our mics. Let's say I want to split the day first. Now I have to semicolon, I have to hyphens. So which one will I select? I will select rightmost delimiter because that's the hyphen that is separating the days from all other things. Are we getting it? Now, assuming is the year I want to separate from all other things, like from all other dates, like from 01, 02, I will use leftmost delimiter. Now, assuming I want to split everything together, I want to split the year from the month. Please, can we mute our mics? I can see here, I'm having a kind of rebound here, or resonance there. Okay. All right, now let's say I want to split from the year, from the days and the month. I'm going to use each occurrence, which means anywhere you find hyphen, split it. So that's how to make use of leftmost, rightmost on each occurrence. Now, in this case now, for the colon, which one am I using? Is it leftmost, rightmost, or each occurrence? I need someone-
Rightmost.
Rightmost. Why did you say rightmost?
Although I can say of each occurrence because it only appear once, but since
Good.
just
You
located
can
far
pick,
right, I will just say
you can pick any of them actually,
yes.
because it's only appearing once. It's others only matters when you have more than one occurrence of it. That's when you start deciding, okay, which one should I split by? But in this case, I can select anyone I want because I only have one occurrence of it. So select anyone and press OK. So immediately, a new column will be created. Now
So
you
what of
can
the quote character? Quote character. What are you going to none?
the quote character. No, leave the quote character.
My quote character is showing quotes. So I don't know. Quote and none.
No, just leave it. That's advanced functions, advanced options rather. So you can leave that. The advanced options have, let's say you want to, if you click on each occurrence and you click on advanced functions, you're going to ask if you want to split into columns, rows, and the number of columns you want to split into, and the likes like that. But there's no need, just leave the advanced options. So now the first thing is you have to change the header from salesperson.street to date. You discover that Power BI was able to recognize that okay, this is date, and it gave it the data type calendar. Now you discover that we have a lot of null values. A lot of null values. But if you also notice, all the null values after each date, they are meant to be occupied by that date above them. This is what I'm saying. For all these null values now, don't forget, this guy had dates earlier that was made header. That's 1st of January 2018. Which means all these nulls are meant to be filled with what? 1st of January 2018. All these nulls are meant to be filled with what? 2nd of January. All these ones are meant to be filled with 3rd of January, like that, like that. Do we understand? So now, how do we now make it that all these null values, they'll be filled with the date above them. All these null values will be filled with date above them. And this one too will be filled with 1st of January. How do we do that? Now there's a function, or there's not a function now. There's a tool here called fill down, or fill. Let me say fill. We also have it in Excel, but I'm not sure we applied it at any point in time. But we also have it in Excel. Under your transform tab, you will see fill. You see fill. Under your transform tab, you see fill. Now click on fill. You will see fill down and fill up. Now, if you click on fill down, everything that is above this date, sorry, everything that is below this date will be filled with that date. Everything here will be filled with this. Everything here will be filled with this. But if I click on fill up, everything above this date will be filled with this date. Everything above here will be filled with this. All the null values above here will be filled with this. So am I clicking on fill down or fill up? I need a response. Am I clicking on fill down or fill up?
Please explain again, please.
It's just as the name implies, fill done. All the null values, if I click fill done, Power BI will recognize the cells that have values. And whatsoever cell that is null above that value, if I click fill done, all these null values above 1st of or 2nd of January 2018 will be filled with 2nd of January 2018. It will stop here. When it gets to anywhere there's another value, everything underneath will be filled with the value above it. Do you understand that? And if you say fill up, it's the other way around of fill down. Instead of everything here to be filled with this, everything here will be filled with this. Everything here will be filled with this. So am I using fill down or fill up?
Fill down.
Fill down, good. So I fill down. So click on done. So you discover that it's just that in Excel, it's different, quite different in Excel. If you apply fill down in Excel, depending on whatever you have there, Excel, we know, this one was able to recognize that, okay, anyway, I see a new value, I will fill the null values with that new value. Excel will just fill it anyhow. Excel does not recognize, okay, when you see a new value, you fill it up like that. No. So you discover that all the values have been filled, all the null values have been filled, except these guys. And that's because there's no value above it. Assuming I had applied field up, that have been filled. Don't forget there was a value here that we didn't remove, but Excel made it as headers and we already removed the header, so it will be replaced by another header. But we already know that this place is meant to be 1st of January 2018. Who can guess how we can change this null to be 1st of January 2018?
Anything like substitute function?
Oh, I like that. There's no substitute here, but we have replace values, which is of course, let me just say our substitute function here is our replace value. But just that, yes, it's our replace values. So we are going to be substituting null to be the date, but it's called replace values. So under your transform tab, rightly above the field that you just applied, you will see replace values. Click on it, you will see replace values and replace errors. So click on replace values. We also have replace values in Excel though. So you see replace values. So to bring a dialog box, value to find. What's the value to find? No. You type in no. To be replaced with what? What are we replacing our no with?
1/1/2018.
1/1/2018. Thank you so much. The same format. Just type it like that and press OK. One 2018. So I believe we've done that. So now we've done two things. We've been able to create our date column. We've been able to make the first one as headers. What's the next thing we feel we can do now?
To split the sales ID from the name.
All right, can we do that? I already explained how to use split column. So can we split this name, the sales, can we split the salesperson ID from the salesperson? Can we do that? Can we quickly try that?
Please, can I ask a question? Is there
Go
a way
ahead.
I can undo Power Query Editor?
I
I
already
mistakenly click
okay.
on I click on the under the apply steps. I mistakenly clicked on this change type 2, and that's meant to take my work back to that stage, but it's giving me like a caution error, so I can't even view my data now.
Or you're saying, if I get what you're saying, you say you clicked on change type to like this.
Yes, on the apply step, as in
Okay, that's the same
mistake.
thing I just did. What did you say is happening to yours?
Okay, mine is showing like a caution sign saying expression error. The column salesperson 1 of the table wasn't found. Detail salesperson 1.
Okay, I don't know why it's saying that. Just click on the last thing, the last step you worked on.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's back. Just that it took me some steps back. I'll have to do them again.
Wait. It took you some steps back. Are you saying you deleted some of the steps you've applied? Just go to the last step you applied.
Okay.
So that's why we have apply steps. There's no undo here. Anything
Okay.
you do, you can just delete the step. So that's if you mistakenly do anything that you don't want. So just, you can, of course, you can always navigate any step. Look at mine. I can go to any step I've applied. Anyone. I can always go back to any step. Then just go back to your last step. The only thing you might do is, if you go to, for instance, now, if you go to change type 2, I think this is what you did. If you go to change type 2, and then you want to continue from change type 2, now look at this. Let's say I decide to change this to, or let me say, and I want to split something. It will caution me that, do I want to insert another step at that particular place?
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it will say, are you sure you want to insert a step here? It's going to give you that kind of caution. So you can cancel. Oh, it's oftentimes it happens. You might go and check one of your steps, and you might actually forget to go to the last step. So it will ask you, are you sure you want to add a step here? So just go to your last step. Are we good? Are you good now?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, okay, all right. So you said you should. Have you done that? I said we should separate the ID from the name. Have you done that? That's quite simple. Just select the first thing I said you should do is any column you want to work with, select the column like this. So you go to split column. What's the delimiter we are using? What is the delimiter that is separating the name from the ID? Can someone speak up?
Open brackets.
Open brackets, thank you. So you click on by delimiter. Now you will discover that there's no open brackets here. So you click on custom. Now you won't type open bracket though. You put the symbol of open bracket. And the split arts, you can use any of the occurrence. You can use any of the split arts since you only have one open bracket. So you click on OK. So we have something like this. So you have a new column, name it salesperson ID. Salesperson ID.
I lost you. So when you said you should click on custom, right? What next did you say you should click on?
Custom.
The symbol of open brackets.
Oh, yeah. The symbol of open bracket. That's the delimiter exactly that you're talking about.
Okay.
So you just indicate the symbol.
So
And then
can
the
we
place
see
that the place that
close
says
bracket?
quote, the place that says quotes character, do I change it to none?
No, leave it
Leave it.
alone. I already said we should leave the advanced options. They are not necessary.
Okay.
So can we remove the close bracket too?
Yeah, sure. But how do you want to remove that? Can somebody help us with it? Or do you have a solution to that?
Yeah,
Of course, we need to remove the close brackets. It's not part of the ID. It's how you do. Yeah, let me hear you out.
I've done that. I've removed the close bracket.
Oh, fantastic. So can we all remove the close brackets?
Tell us how you did it.
Okay, you just have to click on your column, then you go to
Okay.
split column.
Oh,
So
you
you
use
click
split
on by
column. Okay,
you click on
continue.
by delimiter. So
Mhm.
then you click on the custom again.
Custom.
Then yes, then down there's a space there. You're going to type your close brackets.
bracket.
Yeah, at each occurrence of the delimiter, then you click on OK. Automatically remove it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Welcome,
that's a
sir.
particular way. But in Excel, how do we normally remove a character? Does anybody still remember?
We type what we want to replace, brackets, in brackets, comma, then do another one that we want to replace it with, all in quotes too.
Using substitute function, right?
Yes, sir.
And I told you your substitute function is the same thing with replace values there, right? So
Yes, sir.
instead of going through other steps, you can just use your replace values. So value to find is going to be close bracket. Value to replace it is going to be what? Nothing. You leave it like that. So you press OK. So it will automatically remove. So it can automatically remove it. Instead of, that's another approach, of course. There's no, oftentimes there are different approaches. So that's the one you did is also correct. So, all right. Now I think we can remove our no values now. Yeah. Because if you look at everything on this row, this total is not essential. Yes. The total is not meant to be within our data set. So we're going to remove it. You see that all other things that is attached to all the null values are stuff we can remove. For instance, now all these we have null dates, of course, dates with null values doesn't make any sense. Sales for is not important. This salesperson, okay.
I noticed something in your salesperson ID. The value that was splitted, mine is at the right side, while yours is at the left side, just like tests. I don't know if there's
Okay,
any
good.
difference in that.
Why? Why is mine at the right hand side? Mine
Maybe
at the left?
maybe yours is identifying as text and mine as
Uh,
as integer.
okay, it's not maybe. I already told. Be sure of yourself.
Okay,
You
like
won't,
yours
you
is
won't be on the
identifying as
safer
text,
side.
mine is is identifying as integer number.
Exactly. That is why. And if you look at my data type, you see my data type is ABC, right?
Yeah,
So if I change it to whole number, it's going to be at the right. So that's why. So I can just leave mine as a text because it's actually the place. Understand. So I'll just leave it as text. You can leave it as like that too. So that's why. All right. So now we can remove our null values. Anything attached to the null, anything in the role of null values, there are stuff that are not important. Our salesperson, like this one here, is not important here. Sales for is not important. Now you discover that your salesperson having .11, remove this, remove it. So you have salesperson. So our headers are good. Now I told you we have filter here too. As you can see, we have filter button here. So click on your filter. Click on your filter, any of them. So it's like this. It's now you make use of this column or this. But if you are going to be making use of this column, that means I'm removing total, null, sales for, and salesperson. But if I'm making use of this, you can just use this. The only thing I have to remove is the null values. I'll just untoggle the null value. Let me say null value. I'll just untoggle the null and press OK. Did we get that? Okay, thank you. You can see Power BI is more interesting and straightforward. Just do well to, okay, we have video. Even when, I know we're going to have the video after the class. You can always, I think I said this the first class, always jot too. There are some things you might want to quickly just check instead of checking video and navigating to that part. Just check your jot and quickly see what you want to say. So do well to jot. So now
Sorry,
at the time,
sir, the salesperson ID. You mean we should like filter out the no value?
yes.
Okay.
So I told you something. Any null value you are removing for a particular column, that entire row will be removed, even for other columns. That entire row will be removed, even for other columns. So which is why immediately I untoggle the null value for salesperson ID. It's automatically removed whatever it is in other columns. All right, so that being said, now if you look at your column quality, you see we have 100%. So it's telling you, okay, your data set is ready for analysis. You can start doing whatever you want to do. Now you discovered that it's not even a discovery. I said something. Okay, you can say what you want to say. Let me show you.
Okay, my question is, if a column is showing 99% and you can't seem to figure out where the issue is it okay to go ahead to start visualization with that kind of data?
It's showing you 99%. Now,
Yeah.
if your valid is showing you 99%, that means either the error or empty is carrying 1%.
Okay.
So definitely. So it's either the error is carrying 1% or empty is carrying 1%. And if it's empty, that means you can just use this filter button. Definitely, you will see a null value somewhere. Oftentimes, let's say for instance now, I decide to acquire data set of this class. Now, if I put age, it's something we do, typical Nigerians do, or maybe not only Nigerians. Oftentimes, we omit our age, especially when the whatever we are filling is not that important. Maybe it's just a questionnaire or something. Now, in cases like that, let's say I have for salesperson and then a column for age, it might be no. And cases like that, if I remove the null value, it will remove all the data for that particular person. Right? In that case, I will just do replace value. Anywhere you see no, replace it with, just like we did for if error. Anywhere you see no, replace it with no data. Or in some cases, it might be showing as error. I said if you're having 99% valid, it means either error or else it's taking 1%. So even if it's error, you can replace errors too. Under your replace value, you will still replace errors. So you can replace errors with no data. And of course, it's not important. You can also leave it like that, like you asked. You can also go ahead with your data. But if it's an error, if it's no, it's still okay. But if your data set is showing error, make sure you replace it with something. Because if you remember when we were doing Excel, when you have error and you try to apply your arithmetical functions, they won't work. So errors is like having okay, it's not coming to my head. Let me just explain like that. It's like having something you cannot just do. It will always be a stumbling block, like you won't be able to bypass. So if it's error that you're having, make sure you try to replace the error with something, maybe no data or something. So it won't affect your analysis. But if it's empty, you can leave it like that. But if you want to achieve 100% valid, you have to replace your empty cell with something, like maybe no data or something. I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah. And oftentimes, you won't see it if you are working in large data sets. that's when you might be saying 99%. But of course, it will tell you whatsoever is carrying the other 1%. But it's when you have large data sets, in fact. Don't worry, I think I have one. It's not entirely that large. We're still going to be working on other data sets. So now the next thing I'm going to be working on is I explained on pivoting to us. I said on pivoting is changing of rows to columns. Changing of rows to columns. Or I can say yeah, it's just changing of rows to columns. So now I want to change these guys from north to west. I want to unpivot this. Now let's look what's going to look like. So just press your shift key, select north, press your shift key and select west. It will automatically select everything. So under your transform tab, you will see unpivot columns. You will see unpivot columns. Click on it. You will see unpivot columns, unpivot other columns, unpivot only selected columns. Now your unpivot columns will unpivot all the columns you have in this data set. Unpivot other columns will unpivot all other columns except the selected ones. Why unpivot only selected columns will unpivot only the selected columns. So click on unpivot only selected columns. Good. Can we see? The columns we had earlier has been converted to rows. You know, we had north, east, south. So this is what unpivot does. It's to convert, you know, we had north, east, south, they were columns, right? Converted them to rows, in which each have their values. You know, these values have their own respective rows. Sorry, their own respective columns before. Now they are being laid down in rows. Everything is now in one column. I don't know if you understand it. Let me go back to the first step before this is what you had before. You can see the name is not even well arranged before. You have north, east with their values. Now, after unpivoting, their values are being placed in front of them. That's like changing column to row. So if you look at the salesperson too, so pivoting is just like a way of reducing your columns. If you look at salesperson, now everything for James has been gathered together. Can you see? James, 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 James. James for north, James for east, James for south, James for west. So now I can name this your attribute region. Abi, yeah, I can name it region. I can name your value sales. Those are the sales they made. So that's how unpivoting works. Any question? Do you have any question? Okay. Okay, no question. That means we understood everything I explained today. I'm sure we're going to explain, enjoy Power BI. Just don't miss any class, please. Also, let's finish our Excel dashboards. And like I said, when you are done with your dashboard, send it to the group. I want to see our dashboards. I want to see the best dashboard.
What group is that?
You said?
What group
Oh, are
is
you not? Oh, you're not on the WhatsApp group.
I don't I didn't know there was a group.
Oh, sorry. You'll be added. Don't worry. You'll be added to the group. So let's send it to the group chat. When you are done with your dashboard, I know some of us are done. Please send it. So let me see if I can give us an assignment against next week. Okay, good. I think I have an assignment for us. Now your HR analytics data, this is our assignment. Or should I give us another one? Yeah. The HR analytics data is part of the file I sent to us. Clean the data set. Clean the HR analytics data. Clean it up. Just clean it. So we meet next week Saturday.
And where's the HR analytic data?
It's part of the file I sent to us. It's part of the
Power
file
BI.
you unzipped.
Okay, the Power BI file.
Yes, it's part of it.
Okay.
So clean it up. That's the assignment against next week Saturday. So next week we'll be dealing with merging and appending and all other things. Almost everything we did in Excel, we'll be doing them. We'll be adding more to what we even did in Excel. So that's the assignment. Don't forget to send your dashboard to the group. I already showed us how to. Okay. Have I showed us how to screen? I said I was going to do that. Oh, let me quickly do that. Let me quickly show us. Do we know how to screenshot using our systems?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But for the sake of those that don't know how to do it, just press FN or you see function or FN or your keyboard. You press the FN plus your Windows key plus print screen on your keyboard. That's how to screenshot. But there's a better way than screenshotting. Let me show us. I'm coming. So there's something called sniping tool.
Okay.
But before I close this, let me just teach us how to save before I share a new screen. So when you are done with your Power Query editor, everybody go to your home tab. You will see close and apply. On your home tab, you will see close and apply. Click on close and apply. So close and apply, after closing it, you close your Power Query editor. So to take it to your that very first phase you encounter the first time, it will take you back to that place. That's where you carry out your visualization or your modeling. So if you look at my screen, you see it's loading. So it's going to apply all those changes to your data set. Now there's something with this data set. You know, in Excel, when you open a data set and you work on it and you save it, all the changes will be made on that data set, right? Now it's different from Power BI. Whatever change you are making is on the Power BI file. It's not affecting the unclean data. The unclean data is still as it is. Nothing is happening to it. It's still as it is. Now, if you go back to unclean data now, you open it with Excel, you see that nothing has changed. Whatever changes is made is being saved inside the Power BI file. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Now, if you look at data here, you see your sales there. It's been loaded already. It's telling you, okay, you are ready to visualize. Now, your work is not being saved yet, though. You only apply the changes you did in your Power Query editor. How do you now save your file? This is Microsoft. Is it that you press Control S on your keyboard, or you press Save under your file? Now, if you press Control S, it will take you to where you can save. Now, save it with anything you want. Now, if you look at the Save As type, you see Power BI file. Now, before you press Save, give it any name you want. Note where you are saving it to. Mine now, there's high probability it might be saved under where you have your Power BI file. Just look at it, you'll see where it's being saved to. Just look at it. I'm sure we know how to navigate that. So in case you want to access it next time, but you can also access it, is either you click on the file itself, just like the way you normally click on your Excel file, and it will take you to your Excel application software. Or you can open the Power BI and go to recent files. I'll still be able to navigate to them. So that's how you save. So in case you want to access this next time, don't go and import the same Excel file again. No. This time I'll just go to File and you will see Recent Reports. Then you click on whatever you save it as, and everything will be there. I can click on Transform Data in case you want to transform anything. So that's how to save. Did you get that? All right, I assume you got that. So now let me quickly explain this. Let me save this as cohort 2. All right, so after saving, you can decide to close now and close it. So now let me show you how to use the sniping tool. So on your keyboard, on your system, search for sniping tool. SNIPP. If you see sniping tool there, or snipping tool, just click on it. So to bring a dialog box, you will see new, mode, delay, blah, blah, blah. Click on new. So new will bring I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? You see this, can you see this cross cursor? I need somebody to respond at least. Can we see it?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. How come? So in case you've oversized the one, you can just reduce the view. You can reduce the view like this. So when you click on the sniping tool and you click on new, as it closed? So I click on new, it will bring this out for you. So you just click on this edge like this and drag. So this is what, so you can now save it as anything you want. So this one is still better than the screenshot. So you can now save it. Oh, I think I explained this last time. So you can now save it. All right, so we are done for today. So see us next week, Saturday. Don't forget to do your assignments. Enjoy your week. Have a nice week ahead.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Thank
Bye.
you, Sada.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm.